call Facebook.
Yeah, that's what all the kids call it.
They put the in front of it.
They do. In summary, holy shit, Dan Vapid and the Cheats are in my car.
Yay.
Here before T1 Fest, we're in Joliet. We're on Cass Road, recording outside. These guys are going on a little bit later. Before we talk Dan Vapid and the Cheats, I should mention this episode sponsored by C&H Financial Services. Business owners, are you tired of your hard-earned profits going toward paying expensive fees every time your customer pays with a credit or debit card? We're happy to announce our partners at C&H Financial Services has the solution. C&H is the fastest growing financial services company in Illinois as recognized by Inc. magazine, and their patented technology allows you to eliminate 100% of the fees associated with accepting credit and debit cards as a form of payment. That's right, Dan Vapid and the Cheats, 100% of the fees. C&H will also upgrade your business to the industry's leading point-of-sale system to streamline every aspect of your business for no cost. No cost. Visit easy for me to say, freeprocessingnow.com or call 855-600-2437, extension 999, and start saving money today. Are you feeling this? You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Ready to save some money and talk about punk rock?
Yeah.
All right. So, Dan, you just pulled up.
I just pulled up.
You literally pulled up to the Forge in Joliet, got out of your car, jumped into my car. It's going to be a great night if that's how your night's starting.
Oh, yeah. Today has just been I don't know what I can say on this show, if I can swear or not.
It's a podcast, and you're a punk rock band. I mean,
okay.
honest to God, all bets are off.
Okay. It's been a little bit of a clusterfuck all day, but I'm here. I don't think we're running late necessarily, so I guess that's good. Yeah.
We're just a little tight on time.
All right, so
a little tight, but
pretty quick. We'll hit the high points.
Cool.
Brevity is a good thing in interviews.
Yeah.
Do you miss being in Chicago full time?
I really don't. The thing with Chicago, Chicagoans.
There it is.
Here's the problem. Is that it's you reach a certain point in your life and it just gets a little too crowded. It gets expensive. I got a little tired of red light cameras, and I got tired of having to pay to park and the constant congestion. There is parts of me that really does miss, I miss Simon like crazy, and like other friends and stuff like that in certain places. But day-to-day life, I would say no. I like being in a small town, but I also like being in a progressive environment. So I miss Chicago for that reason as well, because where I'm at now is Southern Illinois, and it's it's kind of a red part of the state. To say. Put it lightly. So
my lasting impression of driving through downstate Illinois is just that humongous crucifix when you drive past Effingham. I think that says it all. That is unbelievable. We should introduce the Cheats in the back seat.
Yeah.
Hello, Cheats. Who's in the back seat?
I am Simon in the back seat.
I'm Dylan in the back seat next to him.
We're missing Gabe, our drummer. I play guitar, Dylan plays bass, Gabe is inside looking after our merchandise.
Well, that's very good. And the drummer usually gets sacrificed in situations like this.
Indeed.
It's easy to offer up the drummer. Since we have such a brief amount of time, I want to kind of hit the high points with you, Dan. First of all, Dan Vapid and the Cheats. The new album is 3. It's out. It's fantastic. Did the Cheats kind of happen, I don't want to say by accident, but it was kind of... It just kind of happened, right?
It did. It was kind of an accident in a way. I was playing in Screeching Weasel, and it kind of abruptly ended.
Can we talk about that?
We can. Yeah, you can ask me whatever you want. That was the catalyst for this band. Is that there was a promoter at what did we play? We played Cobra. That's right. Sorry.
They think
and they asked if I wanted to play, just play just songs that I've had in the past, and I decided to play. A lot of people had come in to Chicago that weekend because there was Screeching Weasel was supposed to play and then had canceled. So I put a set together, and I had songs, and I just kind of took it from there. Recruited Simon and Mike Byrne and Mike Susi, and when I had moved out of Chicago, then Simon stuck with me, and then the other two, it just kind of the distance wasn't.
Yeah.
They weren't able to kind of work it out. So when I got to St. Louis, I got Dylan on bass and Gabe on drums.
Gabe, of course, manning the merch table.
Manning the merch table. Yeah.
Let's stay on Screeching Weasel for a second. You joined Screeching Weasel '89. Is that right? Late '80s.
Correct. Yeah, '89.
So I mean, at this point in Chicago punk rock, ray guns winding down, effigies are winding down. It was like almost like a symbolic changing of the guard when Screeching Weasel kind of came in. And I always kind of thought of Screeching Weasel as a suburban punk rock band. Like you guys kind of built a base out there, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean they had the song. I would say that they were kind of proud of that for some reason. I don't really know why. I am from the suburbs as well. I'm from Des Plaines, and they lived a town over. Well, Ben lived 2 towns over, and John lived 1 town over. But it was, I don't know. I think at the time, a lot of the punk bands were, we're from Chicago, we're in the city, and I think maybe to be
still wearing their cop coats they got at the alley.
Yeah, maybe to be the thorn in the side of the scene, and to say they decided to kind of embrace the suburbs. At least that's the way I saw it. They might have a different answer for that, but they kind of embraced that.
So jumping ahead, Screeching Weasel, South by Southwest, was it? Austin, when the wheels came off?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
How much can you say about that?
You ask me whatever.
Okay, what happened?
Well, we were playing a show, and he had like what he was
being
called.
Ben Weasel.
Yeah, he being Ben Weasel had a thing that he called part of his bit, his show. He did warn us that it was going to happen, but in my view, it felt like the equivalent of like if you and a bunch of friends were going to go to a party and said, I don't know if such and such is there, there might be trouble, and then when you get there, they pull out a gun. That's what the equivalent of that night felt like. Anyway, so he goes off on the crowd. I wasn't too pleased about it, but he was doing his quote-unquote bit, and then a girl had come on stage and try to attack him, and then he punched her, and everybody caught it on video. This was the time when it was still pretty new. Everybody just taking video constantly everywhere you went. So it got around very, very fast. I had people, it pretty much went south from there because I didn't back him up on it. His stance on it was that it was her fault. 80% her fault, 20% his fault is the way I remember it. There was just kind of a lot going up to that point as well, to where for me it felt like the last straw. I was kind of keeping a lot to myself, and maybe I should have said more to him, but I didn't, for the sake of trying to avoid an argument with him, because he's kind of hard to argue with. So I think after the punch of the woman, I had it. I didn't technically quit, but we had a letter that we put out, and when he saw it, he asked me about it, and if I had written it and signed off on it, and I said yes, and then he said, okay, you're fired. I'm like, okay.
And here we are.
So after that point, that's kind of when that show had started, that I was talking about earlier at Cobra. So that opportunity kind of happened after that, and so 8 years or whatever, here we are.
Grew out of that ugly situation.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think you guys are great. I'm actually really excited to see you tonight. Jumping back to the 90s for a couple seconds, it seemed like everything you did was kind of floating around that big explosion that happened. Like, to me, Dan Vapid, your punk rock resume is almost like always the bridesmaid, never the bride. You were very successful on a punk rock level. It seemed like the bands you were in, whether it's Riverdales or Screeching Weasel, I thought the Bark Like a Dog album was poised to like do something Green Day-ish. It seemed like you were really close to that proverbial commercial brass ring, but it never went all the way. Did you think of something weird's going to happen or something big's going to happen with one of these methadones or anything?
With the methadones, I was hoping it was going to be more than what it was, but I think it didn't work out that way. I think a lot of it may just been the commitment of just saying, hey, we got to buckle down and go on tour. And not that we didn't tour, we did, but we would tour like a couple weeks here, months would pass, a couple more weeks, I think like looking back now, I wish I would have went 4 to 6 months a year and just hit it hard,
Right.
I think that could have made a difference.
People still love the methadones. I mean, my God, it's great stuff.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, looking ahead, again, I want to be respectful of your time. You're playing tonight. It's T1 Fest. We're in Joliet. What does the new year look like for you?
The new year?
Well, you've got the album out this year. You've got the album. You've got the show tonight. I guess what I'm saying, what's next for Dan Vapid and the Cheats?
Well, we're going to be we're working on an album starting next week. We'll be doing drum tracks. Been writing it pretty much since about January or February of earlier this year, and just really, really excited about it. So that will be called The Process of Letting Go. It will be our 4th record, and I can't wait for people to hear it. I think it's going to be a really good record. So
there's so much I could get into now, but you are playing, I think, within the next hour or so.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you go. And you did just pull up. The new album is 3. It's fantastic. Everything you've done. Love you and your music, your body of work. It's a real thrill to have you talking. And I don't want to be dismissive of you guys. The new album's fantastic. Nice job.
Thank you. A lot of fun to play with Dan, and it just feels good. Everything feels good right now.
Awesome. So if you're anywhere near Joliet right now, this band is on stage. Later on, we've got 88 Fingers Louie. We've got the Smoking Popes. It's just top to bottom. What a killer lineup.
Lillington's too.
Lillington. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You need to be here.
It's pretty ridiculous, the talent that's on stage tonight. Dan Vapid and the Cheats, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And Carcon Carne is sponsored tonight by C&H Financial Services. Thank you for watching. If you do enjoy what you saw or hear, please tell a friend.